Warning: the following video contains explicit language which may be offensive to some viewers or inappropriate for children. The content within this video is intended for mature audiences only.
Hello and welcome to this video. We are doing the Black Tapes, Season 1, Episode 3, the Unsound. Excuse me, just got through eating, got a little bit of that kind of left over in my throat. I've enjoyed the first two episodes a lot. So let's start episode 3 and get our reacting on.
Oh my Lord, here's a just reward. Bring me my devil just behind the door, she said, and flies down the road like thunder.
One of 11 calls from somebody named Alex Regan.
Yeah, I still love this music. It's kind of hard to decide. There are times that I like this intro better than the Rabbits intro, and there are times I like the Rabbits intro better. I think what gives Rabbits the edge, though, is the dialogue that's in it versus the dialogue that's in this one. And what gives this one kind of a edge is its lyricized song.
It's Richard Strand. Okay, goodbye.
Now we're recording. Cool. And I'm going to do the intro part as well. Yeah. My emphasis, I think, was just a little bit too much like, dun, dun, I don't know. Let me just do it again. I'm doing it again.
And we'll go flying through the kingdom of...
Yeah, like I said, this intro is still new enough to me that I'm not going to skip it as of yet. So probably by about episode 4, we'll probably be skipping the intro.
She said she saw someone standing over his bed.
Is it true that you disappeared for 5 days?
I know. It's like adding another layer of crazy on top of crazy.
I don't know. I've had some really good friends that were nothing but crazy layered on top of crazy. So you know.
The Black Tapes podcast is an exploration of life, belief, faith, and occasionally the paranormal. This season we're focusing our lens on the work of the Strand Institute and its enigmatic founder and president, Dr. Richard Strand.
And we've been going pretty well, and I had the Bluetooth was a thing that I thought I had turned off, but I had to restart my computer to get my OBS to work. But no, this whole thing on this paranoia, I done for completely that notification thing just kind of screwed me up.
Last week, our look into the shadowy figures appearing in 2 separate videos took us to San Francisco.
I remember what I was saying. The kid, the family, and the ghost following him around.
Where we discovered a brand new strangeness. This week, the story of Dr. Richard Strand and his mysterious Black Tapes cases continues. We'll be telling our story in order, week to week. So if you haven't listened to the first couple of episodes, go back and start there. We'll be here when you get back. From the National Radio Alliance and Minnow Beats Whale, it's the Black Tapes podcast. I'm Alex Regan.
Nice little simple organ, or it sounds like an organ. It could be a synth or something like that, set to mimic an organ, but that nair, 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 nair. It's just real simple, classic, kind of horror movie-ish type. Thrown in the drums and the rest of the band.
Last episode, things got a little complicated with the Torres family, and they've declined our requests for additional interviews. Don't worry, we're not dropping this. We will contact them to continue exploring their story, but in the interim, we need to respect their right to privacy through what must be a trying time for them.
Yeah, ghosts and demons and divorces tend to be a little bit trying.
Last week I outlined some information our research team dug up regarding Strand. It concerned his wife, who went missing under mysterious circumstances in 1997. I'll have an update on this part of our story later in this episode, but in the meantime, last week, Dr. Strand left me a very intriguing message.
Hello, Alex. It's Richard Strand. I'd like to apologize for the other day. I'll be up in Seattle next week, and if you're interested, I'm bringing along another case from my collection, from the section I believe you referred to as the Black Tapes.
Yeah, the fact that he's making amends after the falling out at the end of the last episode is kind of cool.
I think you'll find this one very interesting. Anyway, I hope you're well. I'll leave my information with your producers. Take care.
Strand was right. I did find it very interesting. But first, my producer Nick had an interesting question of his own. Why was Strand offering this olive branch?
I don't know. It's probably fine, or at least it is what it is, but I'm not sure I see exactly what it is Strand gets out of all this.
Maybe closure on the disappearance of his wife, or maybe passing off the skepticism to another generation.
I don't know, you don't think he's just feeling bad about the way things ended between him and me with the Torres thing?
Well, I think that might be part of it.
Okay, well, maybe it's as simple as he's just looking for an audience.
Maybe.
Or pressure from his publisher to promote his upcoming book?
Strand doesn't strike me as someone who would care too much about that kind of thing.
Yeah, he comes across as not being somebody who is worried about pressure, peer pressure, or any of that.
Yeah, I agree. Why don't I ask him? So I did.
Hey, asking somebody something is a novel idea,
It took me a few minutes to get into it, but eventually Strand figured out what it was I was trying to ask.
So to be clear, are you asking why I'm willing to share this new black tape case with you? Or why I'm willing to be involved in your story in general?
Both, I guess.
I'm going to play something for you.
Yeah, this is kind of cool. It's kind of a Scolder-Mully type, Mulder, not Scolder, Mulder and Scully X-Files thing, where in the X-Files, Mulder, David Duchovny's character, was the believer, and Gillian Anderson, Scully, Dana Scully, was the cynic. This here, you kind of you've got the roles. Riley's the wants to be the believer, and you have the doctor, who is the cynic. So yeah, we gotta see how this plays out.
At this point, Strand pulled up a YouTube video on his laptop. The first voice is Dirk Abruzzi. The second, Emily Dumont, two of the ghost hunting experts you'll remember from episode 1.
I had just been hired as an associate professor at Penn State Paranormal, and during our entire move from Michigan, I had a dark entity hovering.
Penn State. Just a bit of trivia. For the longest time, University of Pennsylvania, Penn State, was basically quite literally across the street from the state of Pennsylvania penitentiary. You have State Penn on one side and Penn State on the other side. So yeah, that's just a bit of triviality for you.
Above me. More than 6 people visually confirmed this fact. It followed me for weeks later.
You've got to be skeptical about stuff like this. Demons? Really? Do you have any idea how rare a demonic incident is? It's like 0.0001%. It's very rare. We need voices of reason here.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never had a demonic incident, so, you know, they could happen.
In the world of paranormal investigations, these people are considered skeptics. These are the so-called voices of reason. There's no room for scientific method. There's no difference between any of these people and the ghost hunters on reality television. You are a respected journalist from one of the most respected radio programs in the world. Working with you, I have a national platform to renew skepticism.
And skepticism is a good thing. Or at least in my opinion, you need skeptics, but you also need true believers. And you need an area for them to work to a middle ground. They have to both be to believe what they believe and be willing enough to accept data that would normally not be, you know, to accept things that may contradict your belief and work to a middle ground.
I think ghost stories are a lot of fun, but the problem is when people start treating the paranormal as reality, it waters down the culture, infantilizes it.
He has a very, very good point there.
At some point in the future, if religious wars don't destroy the planet, nobody is going to believe society ever took issue with same-sex marriage or looked at the Bible as anything other than fiction. When you lose the skeptical spirit, it sets us back, socially and culturally.
And he's very, very true about that. Look at what happened when Rome fell and you had the rise of Christianity in Europe, and they forgot, you know, basically turned their backs on a lot of stuff. It wasn't to the emergence of the De Medici family and the Borgias going out and seeking these things, you know, technologies and literature from the ancient Greeks, ancient Romans. And the problem is both the De Medici and the Borgias became extremely powerful and extremely corrupted by what they had learned. So you've got to wonder where the balance is.
Strand went on like this for a while. His point was clear. He wants to be the voice of reason, or at the very least, a voice for reason in a world he feels is in desperate need of such a voice. He wants to help, and he wants to use the show as a platform to provide a viewpoint counter to the majority.
Like I said, kind of got an X-Files vibe going here.
Counter to the believers. I think that's a fair trade. I get to explore the black tapes, and Strand gets his platform.
And I think we'll go ahead and call this here good. A good place, good stopping place, good place to absorb the new data that we're getting. I thank you for all joining me on this and watching and listening. I mean, it's more listening than watching. There's not a whole lot to watch. So until next time, everybody, be a good human, be good to other humans. Peace.
Hey, it's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are?